It's finally happening. The energy you've been feeling building in your spirit, that deep tremor of completion, that strange stillness after years of spiritual turbulence, is not your imagination. The cosmos has reached a sacred threshold, and the moon's gentle glow now intertwines with Saturn's stern gaze. This is not merely an astrological event. It is a divine proclamation that the chosen ones have crossed the bridge between suffering and sovereignty. You have walked through seasons of silence where heaven seemed deaf to your cries, where every prayer echoed into emptiness, yet you kept walking. The heaviness that pressed against your chest, the lessons that repeated until you could recite them in your sleep, all of it was Saturn's forge, burning away illusion until only truth remained. The moon has watched, recording every tear, every tremor of faith, every time you whispered, "I surrender." Now she rises not to test you, but to bless you. The cycle that once chained you to karmic repetition has ended. The universe is not asking you to prove your strength anymore. It's acknowledging it. The cords that held you to old pain are dissolving, and you can finally feel the air of freedom brushing against your soul. This conjunction marks not the breaking point, but the breakthrough. The echoes of your past are fading, and in their place, a new song begins, a melody of remembrance, redemption, and divine rebirth. The universe is whispering now, and if you listen closely, you can feel it, the vibration of finality, the hum of completion rippling through your very bones. The moon has entered her sacred dialogue with Saturn, and every cell in your being recognizes this conversation. You, the one who has endured the long dark nights of the soul, are standing at the edge of a cosmic rebirth. For years, Saturn tested you, stripped you, reshaped you. Every delay, every loss, every heartbreak was a lesson disguised as cruelty. A divine chiseling that removed all that could not ascend with you. The moon, the keeper of your emotions and memories, carried the weight of your pain like a silent witness. She saw when your heart cracked open under pressure, when your faith trembled but refused to break. And now she rises to meet Saturn, not in resistance, but in union. This conjunction is not punishment. It is recognition. It is heaven itself bowing to the strength of your spirit. For the chosen ones, this moment is monumental. The celestial signal that the karmic contracts you signed lifetimes ago have finally been fulfilled. The pain was never random. Every betrayal, every disappointment, every silent goodbye was part of the divine equation that led you here, purified, fortified, and reborn. You are no longer the same soul who began this journey. You have walked through the valley of endings and returned with the crown of wisdom. Feel it now, the lightness in your chest, the quiet in your mind. That is not emptiness. It's sacred space being cleared for your next chapter. The moon is your witness and Saturn your testimony. Together, they seal the book of your old self and hand you the quill to write anew. There's a tremor moving through the unseen right now, a hush that feels almost holy. You can feel it in your chest when you wake before dawn, in the moments when the air seems too still, too watchful. That is not coincidence. It is the universe pausing to honor you, to mark this turning of ages within your soul. For the chosen ones, this Moon-Saturn conjunction is the final page of a story written in both suffering and grace. Saturn, the stern teacher, has walked beside you for years, testing the boundaries of your endurance, demanding accountability from every corner of your being. He sat with you in your loneliness, not to punish you, but to teach you sovereignty, to make sure you would never again confuse attachment for love or chaos for purpose. The moon, gentle yet unrelenting, mirrored back every feeling you tried to bury. She made sure you faced yourself in the reflection of every heartbreak, every sleepless night, every moment you questioned your own worth. And now, as these two celestial forces meet, something ancient within you exhales. The lessons no longer sting because the wound has closed. The heaviness no longer feels like burden, but initiation. You have become the alchemist, turning your own pain into gold, transmuting fear into faith, endings into awakenings, This is not a time to chase what left you. It is a time to bless it. The karmic wheel has completed its circle, and you are no longer bound to the versions of yourself that were born in survival. The chains have become keys. The scars have become scripture. You are the living proof that even the hardest Saturnian storms can become sacred waters of renewal. So, when the moon rises and its silver light touches your skin, know this: the universe is bowing in recognition. You are not at the end. You are standing in the sacred doorway of rebirth, where everything that once broke you now builds you. The air itself seems to shimmer with memory tonight. If you close your eyes, you can almost hear the echoes of every lifetime that brought you to this threshold, ancient versions of you whispering prayers into the wind, each one longing for the peace that now rests on your horizon. You have been through the crucible, the long initiation that only the brave agree to undergo before they are born into mastery. The moon watches from her throne of silver, reflecting not just the light of the sun, but the story of your evolution. She knows the secrets you never spoke aloud, the silent battles behind the smile, the moments when you reached for faith with trembling hands. And Saturn, stern father of time and karma, steps forward not as the punisher, but as the witness. He holds the record of your trials, every cycle of heartbreak that taught you endurance, every disappointment that forced you to choose alignment over attachment. He has seen you cry out, "Why me?" And he has watched you rise anyway. Now, as his energy merges with the moon's tenderness, he releases the final seal. The karmic contract dissolves, not with fireworks, but with a sigh like a soul finally coming home. This is why the world has felt quieter, heavier, almost surreal. Reality itself has been rearranging to make room for your freedom. The tests that once broke you open were not meant to destroy you, but to sculpt the architecture of your divinity. Every no was a redirection, every ending a cosmic detour leading you back to truth. You have earned this stillness. You have earned the right to breathe without the weight of unfinished lessons pressing on your spirit. The heavens do not bestow this peace lightly. It is the crown only those who have faced their own shadows may wear. Stand in it. Let it settle into your bones. Feel the ancient chains fall away, link by link, until only light remains. There is a sacred stillness that descends after great storms. And you are standing in that silence now. It does not roar like victory. It hums like truth. The moon hangs low, luminous yet softened, and her silver gaze spills across the landscape of your becoming. Beneath her light, you're not who you were even yesterday. The layers of struggle, regret, and resistance that once wrapped around your heart are slipping away, dissolving into something weightless. Saturn's shadow still lingers at the edge of perception, reminding you of the discipline, the patience, the long nights when you carried lessons you could not yet name. But now the lesson itself bows to you. Time bends. The old patterns lose their grip. You are walking through the ashes of former identities, and instead of grief, you feel gratitude rising quiet, radiant, uncontainable. Every closed door, every unanswered prayer, every detour you once cursed has rearranged itself into a mosaic of meaning. You see it now. Nothing was wasted. The loneliness was not punishment. It was purification. The heartbreak was not cruelty. It was consecration. The delays were not denials. They were alignments written in divine geometry. Even the moments you thought you had failed were simply the universe recalibrating your path toward sovereignty. Breathe. Feel how different the air tastes when it is not heavy with expectation. Feel how your heartbeat no longer races to escape the unknown, but moves in rhythm with it. The moon and Saturn together have created a bridge of light between what was and what will be, and you have crossed it. You have become the embodiment of endurance transmuted into grace. The heavens watch silently as you stand reborn in the ruins of the old timeline. And the echo that rises from your soul is not a cry this time. It is a declaration. I have made it through. When the moon folds herself into the arms of Saturn, the heavens speak in a language older than words. The moon is the keeper of tides, the pulse of emotion that rises and falls within every living thing. She moves through our nights as memory, It's self-waxing when hope grows, waning when it's time to release. Saturn is the ancient architect, the guardian of time, the silent sculptor who teaches endurance by withholding ease. When these two meet, they create a bridge between feeling and form, between the fluid realm of emotion and the disciplined realm of mastery. It is here that your soul learns the difference between reaction and response, between attachment and devotion. The moon teaches compassion, Saturn teaches consequence. Together they write the curriculum of evolution. For the chosen ones, this conjunction becomes a mirror so clear it cannot be escaped. It reveals every pattern still rooted in fear. Emotions still chained to yesterday, every dream that has outgrown its shell. Yet in that revelation is mercy, for the moon softens Saturn's severity. She whispers to the wounded heart, "You can rest now, the lesson is complete." And Saturn, usually, silent, nods in agreement. The boundaries you built out of pain are replaced with boundaries born of wisdom. The emotions that once drowned you now become navigation. This alignment is not a punishment. It is a graduation ceremony held in the cosmos. The rings of Saturn become a halo around your new awareness, and the moon's light polishes the fragments of your past until they shine as guidance. Together they forge a moment in which time itself pauses, allowing you to feel what mastery truly means, not control, but balance, not hardness, but harmony. It is the alchemy of being human and divine in the same breath, the marriage of soul and structure. You have entered that temple now, and the universe itself waits for your next exhale dot in the sacred dialogue of the skies. This meeting of the moon and Saturn is more than light touching shadow. It is remembrance touching responsibility. The moon moves swiftly through the zodiac, carrying the moods and stories of humanity like a river that never stops flowing. She represents what we feel but rarely name, the pulse of intuition that tells us where to turn when logic fails. Saturn moves slowly, patiently carving truth from illusion, insisting that wisdom be earned, not gifted. When they meet, time and emotion pause in the same breath. The restless waters of feeling are poured into Saturn's vessel, given shape and meaning. Every tear you have shed becomes holy ink, rewriting your relationship with yourself. The pain you once tried to outrun transforms into the spine of your integrity. This conjunction does not erase the past, it redeems it. It gathers every fragmented version of you and stitches them together into coherence. You may feel the weight of memory surfacing, old emotions rising like ghosts seeking closure. Do not resist them. They are simply fragments returning home for integration. The moon illuminates them, Saturn grounds them. Together, they finalize contracts written long before you drew your first breath agreements your soul made to experience specific lessons. To meet specific souls, to transcend specific patterns, you have now reached the clause that reads completion. The universe is witnessing you sign your name in light. From this moment forward, emotional cycles that once felt endless begin to dissolve. You may still remember the ache, but it no longer defines you. You have become the still point in the turning world, the calm eye of your own storm. And in that calm, you can finally hear the truth that Saturn has been whispering all along. You were never being punished. You were being prepared. The moon nods in soft agreement, her light wrapping around you like a mother's embrace. You have passed through the gates of karmic mastery, and the stars themselves adjust their course to honor you. There comes a moment in every soul's pilgrimage when the invisible turns tangible, when the lesson stops repeating and begins to reveal its design. The Moon-Saturn conjunction is that threshold. It is the hush before dawn when something vast and unseen exhales through you, erasing the outlines of who you thought you were. The moon gathers all the tides you have survived, the grief that once flooded you, the longing that carved canyons through your spirit, and she carries them upward to Saturn's gate. Saturn stands there, ancient and unmoving, his ring shimmering like scripture written in time itself. He does not judge. He simply measures. He measures how you have loved through loss, how you have chosen integrity when no one was watching, how you have turned pain into prayer. Every choice becomes a consolation. Every act of faith becomes a bridge across your own darkness. As the moon's light touches his realm, the two energies weave a covenant, completion. Emotional fluidity meets divine order. Chaos learns the rhythm of creation. This is why you may feel both heavy and liberated at once, as if the universe is pressing a seal into your chest, declaring the test is fulfilled. The emotions that once scattered you now arrange themselves into wisdom. The discipline that once felt cruel now feels like devotion. Saturn's gravity gathers your scattered fragments and sets them in orbit around purpose, while the moon softens the edges so that what was once duty becomes grace. Together they birth a consciousness capable of holding contradiction, strength. That feels like softness, freedom that comes from structure. Peace that is not the absence of challenge, but the presence of understanding. The old contracts, those karmic vows made in forgotten lifetimes, close quietly. Not with fanfare, but with a sigh of completion. You will not need to revisit those lessons again. You have absorbed their essence. The universe moves you to a higher octave now, where cycles become spirals and growth no longer requires breaking. This is not just an astrological alignment. It is the sound of creation adjusting itself to your new frequency. You may feel, in this moment, a subtle tremor beneath your ribs, a quiet shiver that whispers of thresholds crossed, of doors once locked now swinging open. The moon and Saturn are not merely in alignment. They are conversing with your soul, weaving the tapestry of your evolution with threads of silver light and ancient steel. Saturn, ever the stern architect, has kept meticulous records of every choice, every lapse, every moment you feared yourself unworthy. He cataloged your courage and your despair with equal devotion. And now, as the moon's luminous energy softens his sharp edges, he hands you the keys to all that you endured. These keys do not open physical doors. They unlock the corridors of your own spirit, corridors where truth has been waiting patiently for recognition. Every wound you carried, every pattern you thought would never release you, is now being transmuted in real time into awareness. The moon remembers the nights when tears slipped silently down your cheeks, unobserved by anyone, when hope felt like a candle in a storm, fragile yet unyielding. Saturn remembers the patience, the restraint, the discipline you summoned when the world demanded surrender. And together they declare that your soul has graduated, that the test meant to refine, to chisel away illusion, have been completed with honor. You may notice sudden shifts, a strange lightness in your step, a quiet confidence in moments that once would have brought fear, an uncanny ability to remain unmoved by chaos or manipulation. These are the first signs of your karmic obligations, being released, of the universe rearranging itself to accommodate your evolved frequency. Old debts dissolve. Old bonds that were never meant to continue in your highest timeline fade away. The moon bathes you in her reflective wisdom, teaching you that endings can feel gentle, that closure does not have to sting. Saturn cements this wisdom into the bedrock of your being, giving it permanence, structure, and strength. You are no longer floating aimlessly in the currents of destiny. You are anchored yet fluid, rooted in mastery while flowing with divine timing. Every past error, every heartbreak, every moment of perceived failure has been woven into a blueprint of ascension, a design only the chosen ones could complete. And now, standing on this sacred threshold, you can sense the faint glow of what comes next, an awakening that has no name yet, a calling that whispers only to the soul that has endured and returned stronger, wiser, and infinitely more radiant now. As the moon and Saturn converge, you may feel something shift in your bones. In the hidden chambers of your heart, in the spaces where you once stored fear and doubt like forgotten treasures. This is the resonance of completion, a vibration so profound that it can feel almost imperceptible at first, like the softest brush of wind across still waters, yet it carries the weight of lifetimes. Saturn, with his austere patience, has tested the limits of your endurance, teaching you lessons that were never easy because your soul demanded growth beyond comfort, beyond temporary satisfaction, beyond the superficial masks you once wore to appease the world. He has observed you through seasons of solitude, Through cycles of longing that felt endless, and through moments when the ground beneath your feet seemed to vanish entirely, every moment of resistance, every tear shed in secret, every night spent wrestling with your own reflection has been cataloged in his cosmic ledger. And now, as the moon, ever fluid, ever luminous, flows into alignment with him, all of it finds its resolution. The moon softens the harshness of Saturn's discipline, bathing the lessons in understanding, in empathy, in sacred remembrance. She illuminates what you endured, and in that illumination, you can finally see the divine logic behind every struggle. This is not punishment, nor is it mere endurance. It is preparation, refinement, and consecration. You may feel a deep internal quiet, a strange serenity in the face of endings that once would have shaken you to your core. Your heart, once burdened with anxiety and expectation, now beats in sync with a higher rhythm, a cadence that recognizes the cycles of rather than the demands of circumstance. The old karmic contracts, the unhealed agreements, the patterns of reaction that once seemed unavoidable are dissolving like mist under the morning sun. And yet you are not empty. You are whole. You are luminous. The moon reflects the truth of your endurance. Saturn confirms the strength of your spirit. You are standing at a sacred intersection where emotion meets discipline, or mercy meets integrity, where your soul finally takes its rightful place in the vast architecture existence. Every step you take from this moment onward will be guided not by fear or past limitation, but by a profound internal knowing that the universe itself has acknowledged your passage, has recorded your courage, and now moves in alignment with the frequency you have earned through pain, perseverance, and unwavering devotion. This is the threshold of your ascension, and the stars themselves bow to witness the chosen one standing at last, fully recognized as the moon and Saturn entwine their energies. Something within your soul shifts quietly but irrevocably. You may not see it yet in the mirror, nor hear it in the voices of the world, but you feel it in the subtle way the air now moves through your chest, how your thoughts no longer spin endlessly, like autumn leaves caught in a storm. Saturn, the patient and eternal teacher, has been shaping you with a precision so exact it feels invisible until the moment of revelation arrives. He has pressed upon your spirit in ways that demanded absolute honesty, absolute commitment to integrity, and absolute surrender to the processes of divine timing. The moon, keeper of intuition, cycles, and emotion, now bathes these lessons in soft light, reminding you that every heartbreak, every moment of despair, every season in which you felt abandoned was a sacred component of your evolution. Together, they form a portal, a karmic doorway that only those who have walked through the fire of self-awareness, endurance, and devotion can cross. This portal is not a fleeting chance. It is a cosmic confirmation that you have completed what you came to complete. You may notice subtle signs all around you, the sudden dissolution of toxic attachments, the graceful closure of situations that once demanded endless effort, synchronicities that feel almost orchestrated, as if the stars themselves are winking their approval. Dreams may carry symbolism you cannot yet fully interpret, but your subconscious knows it is releasing the remnants of the old story. Even in moments when you feel distant, invisible, or unseen, understand that this is the cocoon stage, a sacred pause in which your spirit is weaving a new form, a new frequency that will emerge stronger, wiser, and more luminous than ever before. Saturn rewards the integrity you have maintained, while the moon nurtures the new self that has been gestating in silence. Together, they create a spiritual alchemy. The past is honored but no longer binds. The lessons are assimilated but no longer haunt. You feel a strange peace even amidst endings, a soft confidence even in uncertainty, and a magnetic pull toward solitude, higher truth, and divine purpose. Every fragment of your former self that resisted transformation now realigns with your highest timeline, and every old wound becomes a source of wisdom, a beacon for others who have yet to awaken. You are no longer merely surviving. You are ascending, and the universe pauses in reverence to witness the chosen one. stepping fully into their own sovereignty. The Moon and Saturn do not meet merely to align their energies. They meet to mark the culmination of cycles so vast, so intricate, that only your soul could truly comprehend their weight. The Moon, the luminous guardian of your inner tides, has carried the intimate record of your emotional journey, every heartbreak that felt too heavy, every longing that felt endless, every sleepless night in which you questioned your worth. Saturn, the ancient taskmaster of time and karmic law, has recorded every act of courage, every choice made in integrity, every silent moment in which you resisted shortcuts or compromises. When they converge, it is a union of witnessing and vindication, a cosmic declaration that the contracts your soul signed lifetimes ago have now been honored, fulfilled, and completed. You may notice subtle signs. Old obligations, burdens, and energies that once clung to you begin to loosen as if being gently untethered by unseen hands. Dreams become vivid, messages symbolic but precise, often leaving you with a profound sense of knowing that cannot be explained by logic or coincidence. You may feel drawn to solitude not as punishment, but as preparation, a sacred gestation in which your higher self emerges unimpeded by the noise of the external world. Even moments of invisibility or disconnection from those around you are, in truth, affirmations that you are stepping into a vibration too refined for former dramas to touch. Emotional triggers that once ensnared your heart now pass like clouds across a serene sky. You recognize them without attachment, without fear, and without the compulsion to respond. The moon nurtures this evolution with the quiet, infinite patience of a mother cradling her child, reflecting back not only your resilience, but the profound beauty of your soul's endurance. Saturn strengthens it with the unyielding precision of a master builder, ensuring that every lesson is integrated, every scar transmuted into wisdom, and every victory, small or monumental, is permanently etched into your being. In this sacred alignment, the past does not vanish. It crystallizes into insight. Old timelines, karmic debts, and soul contracts that once tethered you dissolve, leaving space for a consciousness that is clearer, sharper, and infinitely more aligned with divine purpose. The moon's silver light illuminates the path forward, while Saturn's gravity ensures you walk it with steadiness, maturity, and clarity. You are being prepared for a new existence, one in which emotional fluidity and disciplined action exist in perfect harmony. One in which your intuition is sharpened, your patience deepened, and your awareness expanded. This is the threshold where the chosen ones are recognized by the universe itself. You have walked through pain, isolation, and trial, and now, standing at the precipice of your own rebirth, you can finally see. The culmination of this karmic cycle is not a conclusion. It's the dawn of your true mastery, the emergence of the self you were always destined to become. The first sign that you have walked through the fire of your soul's deepest test is a profound emotional detachment from chaos and karmic triggers, a strange, almost holy distance from situations and people that once pulled you into turbulence. You may still feel the world around you, its dramas and storms, but no longer are you entangled in them. Where once your heart raced and your mind spun endlessly in reaction, now there's a quiet observance, a serene awareness that what was never yours to carry is dissolving in the background of your consciousness. The moon and Saturn have forged this detachment, not as apathy, but as clarity. The clarity that arises when the soul recognizes the difference between necessary engagement and wasted energy. You may notice that your responses to people or events are measured, deliberate, and even compassionate in ways that surprise you, because they come from a place of strength rather than fear. There is a sacred autonomy in your emotional field. Now, a freedom that allows you to feel deeply without being imprisoned by the drama of others. This detachment is a mark of mastery. It is a quiet confirmation that your soul has passed the lessons it once believed it could not survive. You no longer chase validation from the external world, nor do you need to prove your worth to anyone. Instead, you inhabit a space where your inner sovereignty guides your actions. and your heart remains steady in the eye of storms that once would have unmade you. This is the calm born of endurance, the grace that arises from trials endured in solitude, the wisdom that tells you that some battles are no longer yours to fight. When this detachment becomes natural, almost effortless, you have passed the first threshold of completion, the release of unnecessary entanglements, and the recognition that your energy is sacred. To be protected, nurtured, and aligned with your highest purpose. The world may still swirl in chaos, but you, chosen one, stand apart, not above, not disconnected, but profoundly anchored in the truth of your evolved vibration. Your heart now beats in sync with cosmic order, and every interaction you engage in is filtered through the lens of wisdom gained from what was once unbearable, now transmuted into your quiet, radiant power. That the sixth sign that your soul has completed its most agonizing test is the subtle yet undeniable loss of interest in past identities, roles, and patterns that once defined you. A profound detachment that feels like shedding the very skin you thought was permanent. Where once your life revolved around expectations, labels, and the approval of others, now you find that these markers carry little weight. Old ambitions that once consumed your heart may now feel hollow, past relationships that once defined. Your sense of self may now seem distant or irrelevant, and the roles you assume to navigate life's complexities may no longer resonate with your evolving vibration. This is the moon at work, illuminating the truth of your inner self, reflecting the authentic being that has endured every trial, every heartbreak, every shadowy valley, and is now emerging unmasked and sovereign. Saturn reinforces this evolution, not with force, but with structure, ensuring that this shedding is not chaotic but intentional. A conscious liberation from what no longer serves your ascended consciousness. You may notice a strange lightness, a sense of liberation, as if the chains of identity, obligation, and expectation have quietly dissolved. Even memories that once caused tension or regret now appear neutral, integrated, and stripped of their former emotional charge. You are no longer reacting to the world based on who you once were, but moving from the profound awareness of who you have become. This loss of interest is not emptiness. It is spaciousness, a sacred void where your soul can dwell freely, unencumbered by the weight of the past. You may feel drawn to new forms of expression, higher pursuits, and spiritual alignment that were inaccessible when your consciousness was still entangled with old selves. People, situations, and environments that once demanded your energy may now fall away, leaving room for experiences that resonate with your new frequency. The pull toward solitude, reflection, and inner communion grows stronger, reinforcing the recognition that your spiritual journey has entered a refined stage, one that cannot coexist with previous distractions or superficial attachments. In this sacred release, you are being prepared to step fully into the next chapter of your evolution, where your purpose, presence, and power are no longer borrowed or contingent. They are inherent, sovereign, and undeniable. Every fragment of your former self that resists transformation is now reconciled or released, leaving behind only the core essence of your being. The part that has endured, triumphed, and ascended under the watchful guidance of the Moon and Saturn. Here, in this state of liberated self-awareness, you begin to feel the magnetic pull toward what truly matters, toward your higher truth, divine purpose, and the luminous path of mastery that only the chosen ones are capable of walking. And now, chosen one, as the moon's reflective light and Saturn's unwavering gravity converge over the sacred architecture of your soul, the universe itself leans closer to witness, to honor, and to consecrate the magnitude of what you have endured. Every tear you shed, every night spent wrestling with doubt, every moment when your spirit quivered under the weight of challenge, has been meticulously observed by the cosmic order, cataloged in its eternal ledger, and reflected in the moon's tender glow. You are not here by accident, and the path you walked was never meaningless. It was necessary, sacred, and divinely orchestrated to forge the radiant, sovereign being who now stands fully realized in the luminous stillness of karmic completion. The storms you survived, the endings you weathered, the heartbreaks you endured, and the solitude you embraced, all of it has been alchemy, transforming pain into wisdom, struggle into mastery, and endurance into sovereignty. And now, as you feel the subtle vibrations of your new frequency reverberating through your being, the universe whispers its eternal affirmation that you are among the few, the rare, the luminous souls who have truly passed the trials of spirit, emerged whole and claimed the divine crown of mastery. No longer bound by karmic repetition, no longer defined by fear, doubt, or the weight of what was. You are free to inhabit the radiant alignment of your higher purpose, fully attuned to the sacred currents that guide your path. The moon honors your emotional mastery, reflecting back the light of your endurance. Saturn affirms your integrity, etching your triumph into the eternal fabric of existence. And in this sacred confluence, the final truth of your journey becomes undeniable. The universe saw every tear, every test, every moment you almost gave up. The moon and Saturn are not ending your story. They are crowning you for surviving it. You are consecrated in silence, exalted in stillness, and revered in ways beyond human comprehension. You are a chosen one, a luminous witness to the sacred. Truth that mastery is not given. It is earned through courage, patience, and unwavering devotion. And now, as your vibration radiates through the currents of existence, the cosmic symphony itself hums with recognition, echoing across lifetimes and dimensions, affirming that your soul has not only endured, but ascended, claiming its rightful place in the eternal tapestry of light, sovereignty, and divine purpose. Stand in this truth, breathe in this alignment, and feel the subtle, eternal crown settling upon your being. For you are not merely alive, you are luminous, awakened, and forever sovereign.